Hey guys, Disler Magic here, and I just want to show you a quick graph before I jump into the biggest money cards. I mean, spoiler alert, here they are. For the Mystic Archive cards, that will be an automatic insert in basically all of the products coming out with Strixhaven, including the regular standard, now called Draft Booster. So that's cool. So the Time Spiral Remastered cards, as far as I know, were printed, there's 121 of them, and they were printed at exact even odds. Like, every single one was printed, 10,000 times regardless of its original rarity. I haven't heard anybody contradict that, so that's the assumption, is that everything was equal. Well, that is not so with this one. So if you look at these right here, it's Mythic, Rare, and Uncommon. You can see there's a lot more rares than anything else. Okay, cool. So the average Mythic is, just short of $20, which in a $4 pack is pretty darn good. Then we got the average rare is about $5. I mean, that's solid right there. And even the bottom is still like $2-3, because it's still Mystic Archives. And the art's amazing. I mean, it's like a secret lair. It's like it's so distinct of artwork that it's just got to have a floor of a certain price, and that's $2 to $3. But then the uncommons, which there are like almost none of, it's almost at parity with the Mythic, which is $1.50, which across the board isn't good. I mean, yeah, $3 card from a pack, okay, cool, but like $3 to 50 cents, I'm not real concerned with that. What I am concerned with is that, well, they actually disclosed this, which, okay, I am shocked. Check this out. These are the rates that you'll be pulling them at. So if those numbers look good and you're like, wow, I've got all of these entries to win with, or maybe cut off the bottom, and then these are just the loser ones. Whoa, the odds are in my favor. No, you have a 6.6% chance of pulling a Mythic. I didn't calculate that. Wizards disclosed this. In fact, I think Mark Rosewater put it in his article. That's shocking. I know that they have to disclose it by law, but not ahead of time, not in America, and not on the daily MTG archive. So yeah, once again, I'm shocked by that. Rare, still 26.4%, and then a full 2/3 of the time you are going to lose. You are going to get an uncommon, which means since the uncommons are almost like the lowest variety of cards, you're just going to pull this one over and over and over and over, and this one over and over and over, and this one over and over and over. You're going to see this little tiny short list of cards right here 2/3 of the time. I mean, that's unreal. None of these are going to hold their value. I'll just tell you that right now. No way in hell. There's just too many of them going out. I mean, maybe it's just, people are willing to pay at least like $1 for them, and these are just a mistake. I mean, maybe that's what's going on. Who knows? But when you flood the supply past the demand, nothing good ever comes from that. So these right here represent about 30%, or 33% actually on the dot. So 1/3 of the time you'll pull something from these pools, and then only like half the time it'll be something actually really good, like $5 and up. So I mean, you go here, you go there, yeah, that's about half of them, maybe a little bit higher. So yeah, that's something to consider. So I did the math. And I think when they're already adjusted for rarity, you just average them. I wasn't sure, but, well, spoiler alert, you don't need to. I bet you could mentally guess what the average between those three numbers is. It's like $1.20. So, there you go. So the contribution of the average pack is just, like I said, the average of these three numbers, because this is the contribution value adjusted for prevalence, and then card value adjusted for prevalence, and then card value adjusted for prevalence. So you take the average, you get like $1 something. So these are only going to add about an average of $1, because you're going to constantly pull $1.50 uncommons the vast majority of the time. So don't get too excited about these. This whole, there's one per pack instead of, there's one every 2 boxes like the masterpieces. Everybody's all excited, but that seemed a little too easy, a little too clean for me. That's why everybody said, well, there's no way. Because we're looking at, these big, huge money reprints, and we're like, if there's one per pack, and there's only 61 cards? Well, there you go. I mean, what do you got? The shot at this, and this is like one in every, couple packs? I mean, for sure, per box, you'll pull one of those, except now, oh, hell no, absolutely not. You'll be lucky to get 1 or 2 mythics in an entire box. So, I mean, you multiply this by 36 for the draft boosters. Whoops, it would help if it was actually on screen. You get an extra, 40, 45, $50, which, is a lot. I mean, we've seen, I think BFZ was $190, and really awful sets on day one had an EV, a box EV of $115. So that's the swing from like the most lucrative standard set I have ever seen in the last 7 years compared to one of the absolute bomb ones that nobody was interested in from the get-go, like a core set or something. And then, like, honestly, a week later or 2 weeks later, when the premium and the pre-orders fall, it was like $86. Like, some of them have hit unbelievably low. There was one, I don't remember what set it is, leave a comment if you do remember, where they had a second wave planned and they canceled it. I know they've done that at least twice. I haven't confirmed it, but that's the rumor. I hear a lot of rumors floating around, but I had pretty good evidence on that one. So if you're just going to tack on, $45 to a standard set, that could bring it from $110 to like $150, which is like moderately bad non-success to like, damn, that's hot. So don't write it off, but also don't be overly optimistic. So I just wanted to set your expectations at about $1.20, which is enough to get, what, a 6-piece nuggets? Hashtag Nug Life. So the last thing we got to talk about is foils, because that obviously throws it way off. The way I understand it is generally it will take the place of a foil in a pack if you pull it. But that's not entirely true. So this is where it gets weird. The collector's booster has a minimum of 3 mystical archive cards in every booster, including 2 foil etched ones. And those are going to be the American one, and then the Japanese one, I don't know, my screenshot cut that off, so whoops. But yeah, foil etched, the type that doesn't curl. Yeah, nice. And then the set booster, so we're going from, expensive to mid to low here. The middle one, set booster, has a chance of getting a traditional foil, so the curly foils, which is what they should call them, mystical archive card, uncommon rare or mythic rare, but I guess it will be in the foil slot. So they just added them to the pool, but then every time you pull one of these, you don't pull one from the actual set. So that should roughly balance out, I guess. If anything, the mystical archive card should kind of drag it down a little bit, because I don't think that the average card from this Strixhaven set is going to be $1.20. But I don't know, maybe the average card would be, but not foil, but not rare. So I don't know. That's a little more math that I could just do in my head just thinking, but I don't know, whatever. I mean, if it pushes one out, I think all things being equal, it's pretty close. So you can't just say, oh, it contributes more value, because it doesn't. Unless they doubled the prevalence of getting a foil, because now they have more foils to stuff in there. But I really don't think that's what they're doing. So for the draft booster, they phrased it differently, but I guess they said the same thing. So you can get another mystical archive card in traditional foil, so curly foil, in addition to the one that comes in the dedicated slot. When you do, it will replace a common card in the booster. So that's what the foil slot does. In case you weren't familiar, if you get a foil in a normal booster, it actually eliminates one of the commons. So what they're describing sounds an awful lot like it's just in the foil slot. It's a possibility, but they're making it sound like the way they phrased it, like that's the way I would assume they did it, and what I think they meant to say, what they literally seemed to imply was that there's now 2 potential foil slots, and you can get a regular Strixhaven foil, then you can get a Mystic Archive foil, and if you get one or the other or both, you're going to push 1 or 2 commons out of the pack. I don't think the printing facility even works that way. So I think what they meant to say is, in the foil slot, if you get a foil, it could also be from the Mystical Archive. That is a possibility, which is more like how they phrased it for the set booster. So I don't know. Good luck waiting for clarification from Wizards. I'd rather just wait for clarification from people who open the damn boosters and get enough numbers to tell us what the hell's going on. How about that? But yeah, obviously I won't be doing an EV calculation for this, because I have no idea what they mean by half this stuff. It could be interpreted one way or another way, and they're not being clear enough. I do appreciate the information they gave us already, to be very, very clear, so that people don't set their expectations too high and then get pissed off, because that's not a good place to leave your customer base, as they may have learned after about 100 lessons in that area. So the one last thing to say is that, the collector's booster is always where the money is in any given set, whether it be standard or otherwise. With the collector's booster automatically getting 2 Mystical Archive cards foil etched. So foil, prettier looking, and they don't curl. So even people who don't like foils might actually want these, because people just don't want curling cards. And they're rarer, and they're in a more expensive pack. These are going to be the value ones right here. I mean, it's clear as day these are going to be the value ones. Well, that and the Japanese ones, which I'm not even touching that in this video. So, I mean, you get 2 American foil ones and then the Japanese one on top of it. That's just straight money. I mean, that is so much value right there. So it's going to be so significant that it's not sustainable because people will all just buy up the collector's boosters and open them like crazy because of such a value difference that it's actually going to take the curly regular foils that are in the set booster and the draft booster and drive their price way down, like probably close to the price of the non-foil version of the Mystic Archive art. Because, I mean, what are you going to go for? Either the regular plain one that isn't foil and doesn't curl, the middle one that does curl, or the premium foil, which there's going to be plenty of floating around because of all the collector's boosters being opened, that's foil and doesn't curl. Why would you buy the one in the middle? It doesn't make sense. So for every $1 Mystical Archive card, there's probably going to be a $1.25 foil and then a $5 to $10 etched foil. I mean, that's just the way I imagine it happening because we've seen something like that before. I mean, that's just the simplest way to put it. So if you're opening for value, once again, do not think that the draft boosters are the way to go. They absolutely are not. Get the collector's boosters. Also, this is so unpredictable and so hard to figure out what's really going on and so hard to pin down an actual price on. And like a market value and what's going to happen after a week and that kind of stuff, buy list prices, all that. I wouldn't touch this set. It's just too scary, too unpredictable, and I don't know. Why is it that every time... Wizards like pulling a Nintendo lately. Every time something is actually successful and people actually want it, they don't print enough of it. They should know by now that people are going to want the collector's boosters and that they should print them. What I'm thinking is people are like, oh, everybody's out of collector's boosters and they're not doing a second wave. Well, okay, I'll buy the set booster, I'll buy the draft booster. It's not like you can't buy Strixhaven, you just can't buy the really, really good premium Strixhaven that's, worth a ton of money. So maybe they're doing like hard ratios, like for every draft booster box or for every 4 draft booster boxes, we make 1 collector's booster box. Period. We do not do a higher ratio than that. Even though they could make more money, they would devalue the cards and screw with the singles market so hard that they might have an enforced limit. And that's why the one that everybody wants, they don't run off. I mean, in reality, with what I've seen from the demand, they could probably do 2/3 collector's boosters, 1/3 draft boosters, and get rid of set boosters or finally just morph them into the draft boosters, which rumor is that's what they're doing. And that would match customer demand. Just saying, but that's not what they do. That's not even close to what they do from what I know. It's not like the numbers are public anymore, but just looking at what big stores get, yeah, no, they're doing like at best 1-to-4 ratio, I'd say. Hard to tell, but that's my estimation. So that's just all the information you need to know. I guess the next video I'm going to make is the top 10 list of the most expensive ones, just so that you know what you pull when you pull it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.